welcome to the Model Campaign Plan recorded tutorial. So happy today to have Erica Phung, our State and Community Advocacy Manager, share with you key information about this required document for all policy campaign applications. Erica?
Thank you so much, Shannon. It's a pleasure to be here with each of you today to talk about our campaign plan and process. You'll notice that we do have our campaign planning manual. It's a step-by-step guide to help walk you through this important document. All of our grant applications are required to have a campaign plan. And I know this is a required form that seems a little bit long, but it's actually set up and designed to help you have the best of success in your campaign. Our campaign model tool is downloadable, and the links are included in our grant management system in your application. You can click there to download the required form. There's also the guide that's right there, so it's all just in the handy, perfect place to get you started. Now let's talk about campaign organizing. There's key components of a policy campaign, and for those of you that are veterans to policy campaigns, a lot of this will sound very familiar. We have a readiness assessment and campaign plan development. We have decision maker advocacy, stakeholder engagement, grassroots planning, media advocacy, and overall campaign management. For the readiness assessment and campaign plan development, it's important to have a readiness assessment, taking a look at both internal and external readiness for your policy campaign. And when we're doing our policy planning, it's important to be realistic, really taking a look at the political climate in your issue area and where you might have some key supporters. It's important to determine your policy lever, and you should have that identified by now as we move through the process, and then developing the campaign plan from there. For decision maker advocacy, there's really 4 types of decision makers. The sponsor is the person who will author the bill and to move it forward through the legislative process. Your champions are the person who will support the bill, sponsor, and leverage their influence on behalf of the bill. Opponents are the folks who are working against the bill, and targets are the person or people who can make sure your bill passes. It's important to identify each of these components as you're going through your campaign plan. It's not enough to just identify a sponsor. We need to make sure that we have key support built from our champions and strategies to be able to move our policies forward, whether you're working on a local campaign plan with a school board or with a city council, or if you're working on a statewide issue. Also, it may not be clear who your opponents are, but it's important to take a look at organizations that have historically not supported measures that you're engaged in, and also taking a look at who leads those organizations or companies perhaps. Stakeholder engagement is also another important component to your campaign. Each of our campaigns, wherever they're at, has numerous stakeholders which have to be included and accounted for. You have your internal collaborators, and those are folks that work within your own organization, coalition members, and that can be a new or existing coalition. Maybe you're floating a new policy idea that hasn't been explored yet in your state or in community, and identifying key leaders in your coalition who can help move this forward are important, but also looking more broadly. Who might be good additions if you do have an existing coalition? Who might be able to move this issue forward in a more strategic way? And if you don't have a coalition, make up that dream list. Think of who would be good to have on your team, on your side. Maybe even looking at, the policy and saying, well, who do we have from a private business or company in addition to your more traditional nonprofit or volunteer membership? Taking a look at your public agencies, where are they at in terms of the policy sphere? And also including the opposition and looking at other stakeholders and how they might impact your campaign. Grassroots and Grasstops is also an important component to every campaign. And taking a look at recruitment, meaningful engagement, and clear messaging and communications. Many folks have great experience in Grasstops within their organizations, whether or not they have a identified grassroots director or manager. But taking a look at maybe what gaps you have in grassroots, taking a look at planning that recruitment and keeping folks engaged, which can be especially challenging when you have either a brand new issue or maybe you've been working on the same issue for a number of years and it just hasn't taken off. So looking at strategies to keep that meaningful engagement happening, throughout that process. Media advocacy as well is another key component to your campaign. Looking at the audience that you're messaging to and developing persuasive messaging that will appeal to them. Taking a look at the right messenger and really letting them have ownership of that message. Building a relationship with media outlets. Consider hosting a media roundtable and meeting with editors at your local newspaper and bringing along key grassroots advocates or Grasstops advocates who are familiar with the issue, but who also might have relationships with those editors themselves. And taking a look at how to leverage all earned media with social media and grassroots. It's no surprise that in today's climate, a social media grassroots engagement plan is absolutely critical. So taking a look at where we're at with your campaign and where you can leverage Facebook or Instagram or Twitter to be able to reach a broader audience for your campaign. In terms of campaign management, all of your campaigns are required to have a campaign manager to be able to focus on your campaign and direct it. You also need to determine campaign tactics and determine those budget resources. Diversifying funding is something that's important. While Voices does provide funding to your campaign, we would like to see your campaign grow. And we have resources available that can also help you to strategize and plan different engagement from foundations and securing additional financial support or even in-kind support. It's important for your campaign to consider those as well.
Thank you so much, Erica. That was a great overview of the campaign model plan. Just a reminder, the campaign model plan is a robust document and there are many, many prompts in here to help you complete the planning document in its entirety. Please do not leave any sections blank. Reviewers will be taking a look at every section completed. And also be sure that you download and review the planning manual that is in the same download instruction box on the application. And it also has some very key details for you to be able to complete successfully the model campaign plan. So if we could just go to the next slide, this is in your application in the online grant management system. There is some downloadable links, and if you scroll all the way towards the bottom where you'll be required to upload your documents, that is where this is located. So you can see here the screenshot, it says upload application documents. That is where the links to be able to get the campaign plan and the campaign plan guide, and this recording is also going to be posted there so that you have access to all of those documents. Just remember to start early and take the time to complete your campaign model tool. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing your successfully completed tool in your application. Thank you.